Ford's hand trembled for the first time in years. The voice on the line was unmistakable. Nathan. But Nathan was dead. The Jaguar sliced through Manchester's streets, its headlights carving the night. Between Porge and Peters lay the envelope untouched. Heavy, alive. Neither man dared move it. You think it's a bluff? Peters broke the silence. Porge kept his eyes on the road. No. Whoever those men were, they wanted this delivered, which means what's inside isn't just a threat, it's the key. Neither spoke again until the car rolled into the station yard. Inside, Chief Constable Sontar Ford waited behind his desk. The pipe in his hand smoldered, but the smoke rose slower now, curling around a face lined with unease. Porge set the envelope down like contraband. They said it's for you, that the past is catching up. Ford's stare lingered. Finally, he tore the seal. Inside, a single sheet. Words hammered into paper with an old typewriter. Old debts, old hands. The lion's pride will bleed. The list belongs to us. Return it or Manchester burns. Ford's fist crushed the note, knuckles bleaching. Who are they? Peters demanded. Ford exhaled, smoke and shadow escaping with his breath. Ghosts, men I once knew, men who shouldn't be alive. He shot to his feet, pipe ash scattering across the desk. Find Linda, now, before they do. At Oldham General, Linda sat upright in her hospital bed, four in her arm, a folder hidden beneath her blanket. She had carried it 4 weeks, pages thick with names, bank transfers, shipments, evidence enough to topple governments. The arms gang weren't local punks. They were a mask. Behind them, politicians, businessmen, even decorated soldiers. Her pulse spiked as footsteps approached. To men in plain clothes, not police. Miss, we're here to transfer you. One smiled too easily. His hand dipped into his jacket. Linda slammed the emergency alarm. Sirens wailed through the hospital. Nurses swarmed the ward, cutting the men off. In the chaos, she slipped barefoot into the stairwell, clutching the file, heart thundering. Minutes later, Porge and Peters stormed the building. Peters found her first, crouched on the stairs, gasping. Folder clutched to her chest. Linda, you're safe now. Her eyes widened. No, you don't understand. They're not after me. They're after this. She thrust the file into his hands. Pages spilled across the floor. Names, photographs, military insignia. One name circled in red. Peters froze. He knew it too well. Before he could speak, gunfire shredded the corridor. Masked men stormed the hospital with surgical precision. Porge came charging up the stairwell. Go, move. Bullets ripped concrete as they fled down the stairs. Bursting into daylight, Peters' phone buzzed Ford's number. We've got her. We've got the file. Peters panted. Ford's voice was steel wrapped in smoke. Then listen carefully. Those names, some are still serving. Some sit in Parliament. If that list leaks, Manchester won't just burn. It'll collapse. Static. Then another voice cut in. Cold. Familiar. The bald man. Enjoy your reunion, detectives. But the list isn't yours. Return it or watch your lion bleed. The line died. Moments later, Ford rang again. His voice was low, clipped. Don't bring her here. Take her to the address I've sent. Then he hung up. That night, under a jaundiced streetlight, Porge read the address aloud. Safe house, Denshaw, a farm Cherry Clough. They drove through dust and dark until 20 acres of land opened before them. Cabins scattered across it like chess pieces. Safe, Peters muttered. If Ford says it is, then it is, Porge replied. Linda said nothing. She slipped into the cabin assigned to her. From the window, she watched the detectives speed away. Beyond the fence, a light flickered twice in the distance. She told herself it was nothing. A dog walker, maybe. The clock ticked past 10. She sank into bed, half asleep when her doorknob turned. Her breath snapped. Who's there? Her whisper barely carried. Safe houses weren't supposed to open from outside. The steps retreated. Silence. Then darkness. The lights blinked out. Total black. Linda froze. The room was soundproof, bulletproof, but not ghostproof. Something cold brushed her shoulder. She screamed raw, piercing before collapsing into unconsciousness. When her eyes flicked open, light filled the room again. A figure loomed above her, shadowed, still. Her lips moved, dry as paper. Who are you? No answer, just silence. Then darkness swallowed her again. Meanwhile, back at the station, Ford sat alone. The revolver in his hand gleamed under the desk lamp, a .45 caliber, his army retirement gift. He hadn't fired it in decades. He poured whiskey, pacing, replaying missions from the 70s ghost wars waged in silence. The lion's reign was ending. He smiled, teeth flashing, but it never reached his eyes. On the road, Peters and Porge drove in silence until Porge spoke. You think the chief's involved? Peters braked hard. No. Why? I saw his photo in the file. More than once. That's not proof. Then why didn't Linda go to Internal Affairs? Because she's his goddaughter. Then the IOPC. Peters' jaw clenched. I'm telling you, Porge pressed. He's too calm. His grandson was killed by these men, and he barely flinched. Something stinks. Careful, Peters muttered. The chief has served his country. His son's the mayor. His daughter's a judge. This city stands on his family's shoulders. Exactly, Porge whispered. That kind of power always comes with debts, and debts get called in. Peters stared ahead, knuckles tight on the wheel. I'm not having this conversation. We stick to the job. We hunt the bald man. End of story. But deep down, neither of them believed it, because the story was only just beginning. To be continued.